Welcome to Positive Atheism English channel. Today I am going to continue the fifth part of the An Atheist Manifesto, which is written by Joseph Lewis, an atheist. If man and the other forms of life upon this earth are a mere byproduct of an overall plan of a supreme intelligence, then I denounce such a scheme as tyrannical and barbaric. Why should we be made to suffer such excruciating pains and penalties of life to satisfy that from which we derive no benefit and where death negates all our efforts, and which makes the purpose of life, our hopes and desires, our ambitions and aspirations, a cruel mockery? O prayer, thy name is failure. O God, thou art a cruel myth. You will not find a single mention of these great humanitarian achievements in the so-called book of books, not a single reference about the nature and a cure of a disease, not a word regarding those inventions that have so mercifully lifted the burden of toil from the backs of labor. And there is a good reason for it. The biblical writers not only had no knowledge of these things, but they had a perverted concept of life and the universe. Their concept was that man was a victim of blood pollution and his only salvation was by a blood atonement. If you do not want to stop the wheels of progress, if you do not want to go back to the dark ages, if you do not want to live again under tyranny, then you must guard your liberty and you must not let the religion get control of your government. If you do, you will lose the greatest legacy ever bequeathed to the human race, intellectual freedom. Now let me tell you another thing. If all the energy and wealth wasted upon religion in all of its varied forms had been spent to understand life and its problems, we would today be living under conditions that would seem almost like utopia. Most of our social and domestic problems would have been solved, and equally as important, our understanding and relations with the other peoples of the world would have by now brought about universal peace. Man would have a better understanding of his motives and actions and would have learned to curb his primitive instincts for revenge and retaliation. He would by now know that wars of hate, aggression, and aggrandizement are only productive of more hate and more human suffering. The enlightened and completely emancipated man from the fears of a God and the dogma of hate and revenge would make him a brother to his fellow men. He would devote his energies to discoveries and inventions which theology previously condemned as a defiance of God, but which have proved so beneficial to him. He would no longer be a slave to a God and live in clinging fear. The life lived is wasted. Why should life come into existence only to be destroyed? One dies and another is born. For what? A few miserable hours of life, then oblivion. With this recognition of the finality of death, no one should willingly withhold acts that would bring benefits, joy, or happiness to others. In death, the hesitant act can no longer be performed. The word of praise is as impossible as yesterday's return. What perversity justified inflicting pain, suffering, and death upon others who have done no wrong? If death ends all, why fight while we are living? Why shorten life with unnecessary pain and suffering? How futile are the petty problems of individuals with their hates and jealousies when all vanish with death? All the prayers in the world cannot wipe out one injustice. Every wrong is irreparable. The dead cannot forgive. All the tears and sighs are of no avail. Forgiveness cannot be granted when lips cannot move. Praise cannot be heard when ears cannot hear. Joy cannot be experienced when the heart no longer beats, and the happiness of an affectionate embrace has no longer be felt when arms are limp and the eyes are forever closed. You have to make up your mind whether it is to be the God or man, whether you are to be a free or a slave, whether it is to be progress or stagnation. As long as man loves a phantom in the sky more than he loves his fellow man, there will never be peace upon this earth so long as man worships a tyrant as the fatherhood of God. There will be never a brotherhood of man. You must make the choice. You must come to the decision. Is it to be God or man? Churches are homes preparation for death or happiness for the living. Forgiveness cannot be granted when lips cannot move. Praise cannot be heard when ears cannot hear. Joy cannot be experienced when the heart no longer beats. And the happiness of an affectionate embrace has no longer be felt when arms are limp and the eyes are forever closed. You have to make up your mind whether it is to be the God or man. Whether you are to be a free or a slave, whether it is to be progress or stagnation, as long as man loves a phantom in the sky more than he loves his fellow man, there will never be peace upon this earth so long as man worships a tyrant as the fatherhood of God. There will be never a brotherhood of man. You must make the choice. You must come to the decision. Is it to be God or man? Churches are homes preparation for death or happiness for the living. If ever man needed an example of the benefit of the one against the other, he needs but read the pages of history for proof of how religion retarded progress and provoked hatred among the children of men. When theology ruled the world, the man was a slave. The people lived in huts and hovels. They were clad in rags and skins. They devoured crusts and ground bones. The priests of gold and precious stones robbed the poor and lived upon the fat of the land. Here and there, a brave man appeared to question their authority. And from here, I shall lead out in the next episode again. Thank you.
For more videos, please subscribe to our Positive Atheism English channel presented by Samaram channels, which has crossed more than 20 crore views. Please like, subscribe and share our videos, and for notification of our new videos, please click the bell icon.